So guys, if you're not familiar with Star Citizen, it's an open world space sim with first person shooter elements which is due for release sometime in 2015. It's currently in early alpha with 2 modules available to those that back the game, the Hangar module and the Dogfight module. There are currently no alpha slots left, but you can buy a one-day pass for just $5 if you want, if you'd like to just try it out. So, I thought I'd show you guys around my hangar and take a look at some of the ships we can fly and dogfight in. This sexy little thing over here is my Ghost Hornet. It's the stealth version of the Hornet, which is one of the ships you can use in the Dogfighting module. The 2 other beastie ships that you saw in the middle of the hangar were actually made by fans in a competition called the Next Great Starship. Now you can check that competition out on the RSI website or on the RSI YouTube channel. Now, the Anvil Hornet F7C. This little beauty is one of the ships available in the Arena Commander mode, which is basically going to be the training mode or the tutorial for the full game of Star Citizen, allowing you to hone your combat and flying skills without risking your life. So the Hornet is a converted military fighter and probably the best looking of all the single fighters in my opinion. There's also 2 other ships that you can use, the Origin 300i and the RSI Aurora. We'll check out the Aurora later, that's the other ship I have in my hangar. But for now, let's jump into the Hornet and fly around. So, if we take a look around, you'll notice that the graphics and the attention to detail is insane for such an early alpha game, and the cockpit of the Hornet just looks great. Although some ships may have a better visibility, like the 300i, this ship has got a lot better weaponry and is packing a much bigger punch. So, let's take this baby for a spin, shall we? Now for me, the controls feel pretty good. I'm using an Xbox controller, but I have also been playing with a keyboard and mouse. You could use a joystick if you wanted to. And to me it feels really smooth and responsive, although the crosshair sensitivity is really high and hard to aim, although I'm sure we'll be able to adjust that at some point in the future.
Collision.
Now it may take you a little while to get used to flying around, but that is what Arena Commander is for, and eventually there'll be a single player campaign called Squadron 42, which is also going to help you hone your combat skills. So I'm going to jump over to the other map and show you some more of the controls. Okay, so if you look at the user interface or UI, just to the right of the crosshairs we have 3 modes: coupled, G-Safe and ComStab. G-Safe will stop you from blacking out when turning sharply at high speeds, because yeah, that is a thing, and ComStab will basically make you drift instead of just spinning out when turning at high speeds, and coupled or decoupling mode will allow you to do more precise maneuvers like strafing left, right, forward and back, and also slowly ascending and descending using the thrusters, which is particularly useful for landing on stuff or hiding from other ships behind asteroids. Although I don't think landing has been properly implemented yet, you just kind of bounce around on your landing gear. As you'll see here, I'm not the best lander. So, when you want to fly away, you basically just decouple or put your engine back into coupled mode and accelerate, and off you go. Now, I'm going to jump into the Vanduul Swarm game mode so that we can shoot some stuff. So here we are dogfighting in the Hornet. You'll notice on the UI that my ship is kind of already damaged, and yeah, it's not a big problem right now. I've still got all my guns and I've still got some decent maneuverability, so we'll see how it goes. So the Hornet has 2 sets of main guns, 2 laser repeaters on the ball turret and 2 machine guns on the wings as standard. I think these machine guns are actually mini guns, pretty insane. The Hornet also comes with 8 missiles available from 2 separate launchers. Now you can actually switch out the guns from a menu in your hangar somewhere. I've switched from the machine guns to the 2 Badger laser repeaters off of my Stealth Hornet. And unfortunately these are kind of buggy at the moment. The Badger laser repeaters don't make any sound. Those are the orange bullets that I'm shooting, if you'll notice. And when you switch out the miniguns, they lose all of their ammo, and there's no way of actually replenishing the ammo. So I can't really use those miniguns anymore. It's kind of annoying, but as I said, early alpha, and that's to be expected. So I wouldn't recommend switching out your guns right now, but it's going to be really, really cool once it's implemented properly. So the Hornet is great in these dogfights, although at times it does feel like the Vanduul is kind of running rings around you. However, I'm sure it's going to be completely different in the multiplayer dogfights where it's Hornet versus Hornet. Or if you're using a different ship like the 300i, I've heard it is a lot easier to kill these Vanduuls using a 300i. Just because the Vanduuls are just that more agile and speedy than you are. Now you may notice that the red rings that are appearing that's actually the missile lock. The orange rings that appear are just the standard lock. So if you get close to them and you are aiming in that standard orange ring, then your bullets kind of lock onto the target, and it's just a lot easier to shoot them. You don't have to constantly follow your cursor around. Well, you do have to do that anyway to keep aiming on them, but yeah, you get what I mean. So if you don't know the controls for that, it's basically Y on the Xbox controller and Y again to shoot. And if you are being locked onto by another target and they shot a missile, you basically hold the left trigger and Y to shoot a flare. So let's go back over to the hangar and take a look at the RSI Aurora. Okay, so this is the RSI Aurora. Now when I first saw this in my hangar, I wasn't particularly fond of it. I thought it was quite an ugly ship. But the more I use it, the more I fly around in it, the more I like it. It's definitely a lot more agile than the Hornet, and it looks pretty sexy when you're in third-person view, I might say. So this is the interior. We're just going to jump in the driver's seat, and then we'll take it up into space and see how she flies.
Welcome to Roberts Space Industries. Enjoy the ride. System check.
Now the first thing you'll notice about the Aurora is it just looks a lot cheaper and a lot more standard than the Hornet, but that's kind of because it is. It's the cheap standard civilian ship that everybody's going to get when they buy the game. When you fly it around, you'll notice it's a lot more agile and a lot lighter than the Hornet. It actually feels quite a bit faster at times.
Impact.
It may just be because it's a bit smaller and it gives you a greater sense of speed. So there is lots of different ships coming in Star Citizen. There's going to be ships for racing, ships for carrying loads and loads of cargo, ships for bounty hunters to store prisoners, ships for people to salvage other ships, and big ships for like 8 people or more for massive crews going out and fighting and doing lots of different stuff. So there's a lot of potential with Star Citizen, and I'm really, really excited to see what else they have in store for us. So this is the Aurora in Freeflight. Let's jump into the Vanduul Swarm mode and see how she handles a dogfight. Okay, so the Aurora has 2 bearing laser guns, as well as 4 missiles available from one single launcher. Now I quite like dogfighting in the Aurora. It's not got the best weaponry, but it's a lot lighter and a lot more agile than the Hornet. Unfortunately, I don't have the 300i available in my hangar to dogfight with, so we're going to have to just make do with the Aurora. But it's pretty cool because this is, as I said, the ship that you'll get when you buy, or if you buy, the full game when it comes out. So it's a pretty good dogfighting ship. It's the lasers aren't the best. You may notice as we use them more, the charge goes down and they shoot a lot slower. That's because our power is limited. You can also, if I change the display, you could also switch power from the shields, and you can basically divert your power output to different parts of the ship. It's pretty cool. So let's talk a little bit about Star Citizen and the full version of the game when it finally comes out. So as I said, it's going to be an open world space simulator with first person shooter elements, which basically means you'll be flying, most of the time you'll be flying around in your ship, looking for new star systems, new planets that you can go and explore and find new stuff on, or mining asteroids for materials that you can go and sell. You could also earn money through
Target
regular missions,
acquired.
through bounty hunting, through trading narcotics, pirating.
Down.
There's so much potential and so many different ways to earn money, and just so much fun to be had in this game. If you've not heard about it, if you've not checked it out, I strongly urge you to go to the RSI website or the Robert Space Industries website, or check out the YouTube channel. They've got quite a few videos on ships and the making of
Target
ships and stuff
acquired.
like that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video.
Down.
If you'd like to see more Star Citizen
Stand
videos,
by.
make sure you hit that subscribe button. But that's going to be it for this episode, guys. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.
Collision.
Enemy down. Impact.
Starboard shields down. Warning. Forward shields 25%. Port shields 50%. Propulsion.